Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting for May 3rd. Um, First order of business is to ratify the minutes from the last meeting. Any move to approve the minutes?
So moved.
So moved. Second, okay. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Scott Berman will not be with us tonight. His mother passed away, and we all wish prayers and thoughts with his family for the passing of his mom. The first case tonight is case 2018-09P, special use permit at 7520 Skokie Boulevard. Behalf of Agape Life Center Ministries, request a special use permit to expand a religious assembly use at 7520 Skokie Boulevard. Is the petitioner ready? No petitioner.
Sure.
Is somebody out there?
There's quite a few people sitting in the.
I'll
Well,
go see this.
Yes, would you go see if they're ready? They're in the lounge over there, in the atrium. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Would you give us your name and your address?
Arlem Brown,
Okay.
7520 Skokie Boulevard.
Okay, thank you. And before we start, could you raise your right hand? I'll swear you in. Do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth to help you?
Yes.
Okay, and Counselor, is the notice in order?
Notice is proper and correct.
Thank you. Do you want to give us an overview of your plans for expansion?
Yes. So we are looking to expand because of the fact that we are trying to do some additional stuff. Like, for example, coming this June, we're going to launch a class for the deaf. And so we've been doing these classes on and off. Like, for example, we did a class on English, speaking English properly, especially for those who come from different countries. And so we've been using our sanctuary to do those things. But I realized that, our sanctuary is sacred and, just don't want to accommodate people just coming in from everywhere and anywhere just to be in our sanctuary for things like those. So we work, and also when we do have fellowship, we do it in the sanctuary. And if you should look at the carpet right now, that's just 2 years old. It's totally trashed because, spilling and all that stuff happens there. So it's one of the reasons why we want to have an alternate room where we can host things like those.
Okay. Now, in keeping with the expansion, that's going to be used throughout the week also?
Yes, for sure, because the classes are going to be during the week.
Good.
As a matter of fact, I think it's set for Tuesdays.
Mhm.
We do have prayer meeting on Tuesdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays are open, and we're going to be doing other things, community-based things as well during the course of the week. So all those things are going to be during the week.
Any questions of the petitioner? Commissioner Quinn?
These other activities that happen throughout the week, are they generally small group activities?
Yeah, most times it's a small group, but of course there are other things that we do which we include the church outside of worship that we do there as well
Okay.
during the week.
Okay. Commissioner Mitchell?
I noticed that you were that you plan to use the hallway and some offices. convert them over as a part of the process?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that gonna affect your operation? What are you gonna do for the office?
No, the office that we use now won't be a part of what we're
Well,
doing.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Commissioner Berman.
It seems like the parking and what plan and what have you anticipates never more than 85 people. Is that generally the case? We'll be using the facility at any given time regardless of function?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Yes, we tend to have 2 services on Sunday. So we do have one at 11 and one at 5.
But will there be a class happening in the other room at the same time at
No,
any given time?
No.
No? Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions of the petitioner? Okay, Pastor Brown, do you have anything else to offer?
Well, I mean, of course, we're a part of Skokie, and I mean.
Of course. You've been here for a while.
Sure. So whatever else we can do to be a part of the community, you know. outside of
Okay,
that.
well, then we'll have the staff come up and give its report, okay? Then
Okay.
we'll have you come up after that.
Okay, thanks.
Peter?
My staff report.
Okay.
Are there any interested parties for this case?
Just interested in gathering information, that's all.
Would you like copies of the report?
I got one, thank you.
Staff asks that the report be accepted into record as written.
Request granted.
Okay, thank you. The Agape Church has been at this location for several years now. They came in for a special use permit. The site plan was modified when they came in originally. It was redone, the parking was worked out for the use based on the number of seats in the sanctuary. They are now requesting to have the expansion into the area over here, which is like a conference area or the assembly area. The seating will stay the same in the actual sanctuary. There's going to be a solid wall between them, so staff was concerned that this would become one big sanctuary, and that's not the case. And the corridor, the entrance corridor has been moved over, and you can come into the area here, the social hall, and then get into the sanctuary. The parking is based on the sanctuary itself and the number of seats, so the social hall really doesn't affect anything. And based on the operation that they presented, staff recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions of staff? No? Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Pastor Brown, could you please step up again? At this time, I just want to make sure you've read all the staff's recommendation and you're able to meet all of them without any problems, or do you have any questions about them?
No, everything is looks
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Do you have anything else further to add?
No.
Okay. Any further questions of the petitioner? Okay. At this time, thank you, Mr. Pastor Brown.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll entertain anybody in the audience who has a question or comment on this case. Please come up. Also, too, since we are an advisory board to the Board of Trustees, our decisions tonight is not final. The Board of Trustees will get this case sometime in the near future. They meet on the first and third Mondays of every month. If anybody here who wishes a copy of this report and to be notified when that meeting occurs, please, there's a sign-up sheet up there, or there should be. Just give us your name and address, and I'll make sure you get notified. Okay. Without further ado, yes, would you please come up? Give us your name, please, and your address.
Sure, my name is Melissa Gelfand. I live at 4850 Jerome. I've never been to one of these meetings to speak, so I'll just be very, very brief. I live on the 4800 block, and I just wanted to just bring another perspective as someone who's been a homeowner on my block for 25 years. That unfortunately in our house, we have to park on the street. We do not have a garage, and although it's not anybody's responsibility to provide that for us, I just want to point out that with the two churches, it's not just, you know, I know we're just talking about this one individual church, but the Ethical Humanist Society is also another church that's on the other side of, on Lincoln, which is also walking distance. And I just want to say, as a homeowner, what I experience every Sunday is a tremendous amount of traffic, congestion, and parking problems because, you know, both churches are operating on Sunday at the same time. So when there are special events, big events, I don't feel that there is, even though according to reports and calculations, which are far beyond my comprehension, I would just say that as a person who lives on the block, Sundays and any other nights or evenings when there are big special events, that there is a tremendous amount of traffic, that cars are, you know, the first block in Jerome, people want to get the closest spot. There's a lot of trolling up and down, U-turns in the corner intersection of Lamont and Jerome, because people come down, they don't get a spot, so they do a U-turn, and then they go back down the other side of the street. And then when both, you know, churches are in full capacity with their events, that there is a big impact. And so I don't know, I just wanted to say my personal opinion is that this is not what I experience every Sunday. And even though it looks very simple on a piece of paper, you know, I would welcome anybody to come to Sunday on the 4800 block of Jerome, because it's extremely chaotic and busy, lots of people and lots of cars. And again, between both churches, I think it's.
What time does this traffic start and what time does it approximately ends on a Sunday?
It starts about a little bit after 10 a.m. When I think there's probably a little bit of parking for both churches, but then once that gets filled up, then people start to, you know, go into the street. So by 10:30, it's parked up, you know, all the way around. And then the Ethical Humanist Church, I think, lets out about 12. So by 12:30, that starts to fan out, but then there's the two other services, and I can't quite understand. I don't know what their schedule is, but somehow in between, it still gets to be filled up probably until, you know, the rest of the day. So it just depends on the day, and then if there's special events or activities that are going on in either of the congregations, then that brings more people. And it's just all, you know, tight to our, I don't know if on the Birchwood block, I've also noticed at certain times that there's, when I've walked there during this time, that there's a lot of traffic, but if there's nobody here from the Birchwood block, I guess that's up to them. I just can speak for myself.
Okay,
But I just wanted to give another perspective.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Did you sign in?
Yes.
Oh, right here, yes, thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience who wish to comment or have a question on this case? Okay. Ready for a motion?
I was just going to ask Peter a question. Is there something to do for relief on the streets and on Sundays in any way?
Well, really not. I mean, to be honest, the social hall will not increase the amount of traffic, really. It's based on the seating, and as Pastor Brown has indicated, you know, they don't operate things all together at the same time. The parking requirement is always based on seating, no matter where it is. And unfortunately, around most religious institutions, when they're in operation, there is a temporary use of local streets in order to accommodate them. I've been by Pastor Brown's church several times on a Sunday morning. The parking lot is very full, and it's one of the reasons the rest of the building is empty, and so they take up all the parking at that time.
How many parking spots are on the site, Peter?
I don't know right offhand. I think it's in the report, but I have to look through it again. But we went through it.
Isn't it 84 or something like that?
It's,
That's it.
I'm seeing the number. Did you see it?
48, I think.
33 spaces are provided at the,
85 seats, okay.
so what happened, there's adequate parking for the church based on the code. It's the other uses that in the past got relief from the ordinance. So they went to the zoning board for a gallery and other uses that were once in the building. But that shouldn't be affecting the operation of the church. I mean, because the church is basically there when everybody else is gone. So at that time, based on the parking requirement of one space for every 4 seats, there's more than adequate space in the lot to take care of them. But, again, you know, they may have overflow.
Okay.
Again, this modification is not going to intensify their use. It's just broadening the space. And in fact, it's hard to imagine, but it actually lowers the parking requirement for the building because this area that they're taking over really was all divided up into offices. And that was based on a 1 space per 300 square foot parking requirement. So by eliminating that from being able to be rented out, as you can see, there's small offices all around here. That then reduced it because the parking requirement is based on the sanctuary. So technically, it's better, but in reality, there's no change.
Okay. Any further discussion on the parking? Commissioner Mitchell,
Motion to concur?
do I have a second? Second. Commissioner. Thank you. Commissioner Matei, okay. We'll call for the vote. Commissioner Mitchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Quinn,
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Berman is absent, Commissioner Villagis,
Aye.
Commissioner Paradise is absent, Commissioner Lepati is absent, Commissioner Jeff Berman.
Aye.
Commissioner Matei.
Aye.
No vote aye. Okay, motion passes. Pastor Brown, I would maybe ask, your congregation to be a little more considerate. I know they're very considerate, but just to be a little more considerate of the parking and the drive, you know. Okay. Thank you. Next case is case 2018-10P, special use permit at 5237 Gulf Road. Song H. Ang, on behalf of T-Rex Bubble Tea Cafe, requests a special use permit for outdoor dining associated with a limited service restaurant in the B2 Commercial Zoning District. Is the petitioner here tonight?
Be so kind as come up here. Yeah, up here right by the podium.
Give us your name and address.
My name is Song Hee An.
Could you speak a little louder into the microphone?
My name is Song Hee An, 5237 Golf Road,
Okay.
Skokie.
And sir, your name?
My name is Young Shin. I'm her brother and
Okay.
also a translator.
Okay. Well, do you want to speak for her then, or is she going to speak?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I can explain to her and then she
Okay,
can
well,
answer.
let me swear both of you in.
Yes, sir.
Do you both affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, not but the truth to help you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And is there notice in order, Counselor?
Their notice is proper and correct.
Okay. All right, so you have a restaurant establishment, or basically a tea cafe, and you want to add outdoor dining to that, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add to that, or?
Basically, like we have our business is getting better and better, and then most customers are like teenagers, and then we have enough sitting area inside, but some of teens, they want to go out and then they talk something with friend, and then we just want to provide us some sitting area so they can enjoy the outdoor air, fresh air and everything.
Okay, would you tell us how many tables and chairs you're gonna put out there?
Basically, we're gonna put the three, two round one and one square.
Mm-hmm.
The drawing.
I didn't bring it.
Thanks, Pete. Okay.
Let me show you the aerial, maybe that's a little better for us.
Mhm.
The petitioners, when they remodeled the building, they put in actually a larger pad over here. So they're showing only seating in this small area over here, but this entire area could potentially be used for outdoor dining.
Are they asking for that entire area or just a portion of it?
No, we just planning to put the reason we put it the large area because it look better because she wants the area look better, but she does basically she wants to put the just minimum quantity of table that she doesn't want so many people sitting out there instead of the inside. It's kind of and then our restaurant
Well,
is
you could just limit that by the number of tables and chairs.
yes,
But-
three is the maximum we're planning to put it, sir.
My advice is just ask for the whole space and just use,
I mean, if it is okay, then that's fine for her. So,
okay,
yes.
okay. Any questions of the petitioner?
They're not done yet.
I'm sorry, I thought they were done.
Thank you. You want to explain that one?
Oh, okay. So this is what happened for the signage. Okay, we hired some sign contractor. There is some miscommunication with the sign contractor with the inspector. So my sign contractor thought this is the existing the signpost. He thought he can use the frame existing frame, whatever you see it, and then he can match the logo size to the 35 square feet. But after we done everything and then the inspector stopped by, he said our frame size is too big. So I mean we tried to solve the problem. So my sign contractor proposed some the other option to inspector, but it looks ugly. So inspector recommended us to go to appearance commission. So we went there and then they approve whatever it is. So that's why we are here now.
So they actually approved the looks or the
Yes, sir.
of
They
the sign.
approved the size and then everything, sir.
Okay. So you're requesting relief. Okay, any questions of petitioner about the sign or the outdoor dining? Yes, Commissioner Velazquez.
What kind of barriers are going to be between the parking area and the actual patio area? Because it looks like on one of the diagrams, it looks like there's 2 parking spaces. On the other diagram, it looks like there's 3. And in this one, it looks like there's only like 1.5 feet. So if cars are parking, I was just curious, what kind of, is there going to be a raised barrier so cars don't drive straight
so-
onto or anything like
Yes,
that? Just
I received
safety-wise.
a letter from the zoning department that they recommend to put the rail so we can differentiate it. So we're planning to put the rail so the people not get confused and then it's gonna be not be dangerous. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, anything else you wish to offer, present?
No, sir.
Okay, if you'll have a seat now, we'll ask Pete to present the staff report.
Thank you.
Yes, Peter?
We ask that the report be accepted into record as written.
Yes, granted.
Staff is recommending approval of the outdoor dining and also the oversized sign.
How much
The-
larger is the sign over
Paul.
The code.
The sign is actually 80 square feet, and based on a single tenant space like this, it could only be 35 square feet.
Oh, wow.
However, they had a changeable copy at one time also on the bottom. So if you put changeable copy on the bottom, you could be up to 50 square feet. But this was an old sign that was there from 2 or 3 generations of food service that was there. And so it predated our ordinance, and so it was a grandfathered sign, and it's been there for many years. And when the, so we'll start with the sign. When we saw it, and I should say, this restaurant has received assistance from the village to be improved, and they've done a very nice job of improving the building and the parking lot and making other improvements at the site, which were all inspected and approved, and they did get a building permit for all those things.
Okay.
This here, the sign contractor, and we've known him very long, went out there and did what he was supposed to. He came up with a sign that was 35 square feet if you boxed the drawing. So then he proposed doing some modifications by putting panels on the side or panels on the top. And what it just looked like was a big dark box. And so looking at it, staff just recommended just to keep it the way it is and go to the Appearance Commission for relief. It really is a nice looking sign. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just big.
Okay, so this sign will be kind of, okay, it'll be permitted use for the sign, but once, let's say they move out of there or go somewhere else, so the sign will let Dial get grandfathered in the next time someone comes in to use it?
It would still be grandfathered in, unless it's destroyed or damaged beyond 50% of its value. As part of the special use, you could ask that it be removed when they leave. I mean, might be a reasonable thing to do. But, there's economic value in it, and for a startup business to come up with a whole new ground sign, we just felt it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, well, it does have visual impact.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Especially where their location is on Gulf Road, and you're coming at that area, it's kind of hard to see, and they're kind of by themselves over there. So it does make their site more visible. The building isn't very large, and it's set back, so it's a factor.
Okay. Any other questions of the staff?
That's on the sign relief. Oh, do you have a question on the sign relief?
Yes.
On the outdoor dining, yes, this is a new aerial of the property, and the property's been restriped based on the approved plan when they got their building permits. So there are definitely 3 parking spaces here, not 2, and the outdoor dining area, or this is really a brick patio, just to improve the appearance of that area. Staff also recommended that they fill it up with tables and chairs, just as a nice amenity, but it's their position, and if they're going to have 3 tables there, then they would have to come back to you in the future if they wanted some more. It really has no effect on parking. It has no effect on the site plan. It's just a positive use for the restaurant.
Okay, very good. Questions of the outdoor dining, Commissioner Berman?
I was just going to ask, I mean, I understand that was Paul already asked it and it was kind of denied, but it seems silly to come back when things get really popular to ask for 3 more tables. Is there a way that we can just amend it and say that number of tables that the slab will accommodate or something like that?
That would be fine.
You understand what we're doing? I mean, we're going to give you 3 more, we're going to allow you to have 3 more tables. Doesn't mean you have to have them.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you don't want to come back here again.
Right.
Not that it's not fun.
No, it's not fun, exactly. I mean, we're a fun group. Want to explain that to her and
She still think that 3 is enough. I keep on saying it, whenever we have a chance, we can ask for more,
but then you have to come back here.
Well, if they want to come back, just make it by modified review.
Okay, fine. We'll do that.
thank you, sir.
thank you, okay. We're trying to help him. Okay,
One other, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
one other thing, is I think the railing makes a lot of sense. Is that a requirement in this report, or is that in the zoning, where is that
It's not,
required?
it'll be required by staff before
Okay.
we allow it. And I should say there is a trash container.
I saw this, it was a great write-up about trash.
Just to be sure.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure if I should go there or not. but- Okay. Could you please come back up? Okay, you read all the staff recommendations related to the special use permit. Are you okay with all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And any other questions or anything else to offer?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience who has a question or a comment on this case? Okay, I see none. Any other discussions? I am open for a motion then. Commissioner Jeff Berman?
I'll make the motion with the modification of approving, how did you phrase it, Peter?
Additional outdoor dining area or seating with a modified review.
Through the modified review.
Modified review.
Okay,
Second.
okay, very good. Okay, call for the vote. Commissioner Mitchell,
Aye.
Commissioner Quinn,
Aye.
Commissioner Velazquez,
Aye.
Commissioner Jeff Berman,
Aye.
Commissioner Matei, and I'll vote aye. And the motion passes. So this still has to go before the Board of Trustees, and you'll be notified when that gets to on their agenda, okay? Thank you for coming, and good luck to you. Any other business before the board? None, this meeting is adjourned, thank you.